Welcome back to Coding Culture, the podcast all about technology, innovation, and all the practices that shape our digital landscape. Today, I'm joined by Karmen. I'm so excited. She was the root, the original gangster, the original guest, And Karmen, welcome. I think the first episode was so amazing, understanding your journey, understanding how you are always thinking of the end user. How are you feeling?
It's great to be back. I feel like now you actually like QA a lot more than you did before. But it's great to be back. Thank you so much for having me.
Nah, that is awesome. I think on the first episode, as we were approaching launch and after launch and everything had gone live, what has been the response? How did you find it?
I felt like it was really exciting because it was the first one. So it was like the season opener. And everyone was sort of like, what is coding culture? What is this about? Whether it was at the organization or just outside, like the outside influence on social media, it was a real hype. And I think that's what we wanted. That's what we expected. So I felt that was a big thing for me.
And when you had to go back to the office and meet up with your devs there, what did they say about the episode?
When the episode released, I don't know if you remember, but we had like a launch of it. So everybody was allowed to the link was shared with everyone. And we had to just join in and be on a Teams meeting call watching this video.
Yes.
And I didn't join because I was so nervous as to what's going to happen. How is everybody going to take my responses? And then everyone just looks and they turn and they look at me. But the devs were like, wow, you actually spoke the truth. And that is who you are. That's how you approach things. So, yeah.
That is amazing. And since then, we've had some interesting episodes.
I know,
We've
right?
had some funny moments, some insightful moments. There's a lot has happened during the episode. Let's have a look at those moments. Coming in, figuring stuff out, breaking things as a career.
We can't send out something into a live production for the user to now find a flaw.
Trust no one.
If I asked you for your phone, would you give it to me?
No. I'd be shaking saying no.
One of the biggest problems with event-driven architecture is what happens when something breaks.
If I call, is there a difference if I call at 12 during the day or if I call at 12 at night?
First of all our calls are recorded. So,
for quality purposes.
Yes.
It wasn't just about assembling computers, but also understanding the logic.
Having transactions immediately, tap on phone, tap on glass, QR code, that's what you're looking for, innovation. You're not looking for the golden age of payments, you're looking for the next quickest thing, safest thing, simplest thing.
We need our data stored within our borders.
To the point now where I believe public cloud spending is actually usurped spending that goes into data centers on data center hardware and software.
Try to push that technology to the market. And when that gets into the market and the market is like, no, we actually didn't ask for this. We don't need your opinion.
Wow. That brought back so many memories. I almost even shed a tear there. So Karmen, looking back at that, what do you think?
I think it's actually put everything into perspective now, like the way we wanted this to go and the way we wanted it to start, looking back at all these episodes make you gain more insights into the industry, like where we started off and where we're going, like we're just getting started.
I think when you think back at when we started, and I think the original idea was trying to think what is the culture behind coding. And I think we went QA, we went security, we've done so many amazing things. What are some of the standout moments for you?
I think the standout one for me was the real betting in tech.
Yeah.
How that milliseconds could make or break. Yes. I actually had flashbacks when I watched that one because it made me feel like that was a real moment for me. That was something I could relate to because I've been in that experience, and how it's not just about the user. It's not just about the performance, and the software, but it's about that user experience. And that milliseconds, like Zahid and Rodney mentioned, is a make or break experience.
That was also one of my favorites there. I think real-time
You can
betting,
relate,
live in
yes.
play. I think it's one of those things that keep the game exciting. Like during the game, you bet on what you've bet on. Orlando Pirates taking the win, yay. But during the game, I can bet on a few other things. I think that was an amazing episode.
Yes.
So you mentioned Rodney and Zahid there. Any other guests or episode that you found interesting, and what was interesting about those ones?
I think it would be the first one would be Londiwe's one.
I thought you were going to say yours, but okay.
I was going to be biased. But I think it's, so the first one for me would be around the clock leadership with Londiwe. The manner in which she gave this raw insight to a 24/7 IT support team, the human side of this operation, that was realness for me because I could understand that experience. They're one floor below me.
Yes.
That was a real life scenario that she explained, and just blending it with the human side of the operations and of the team and their feelings. That was a real standing out and interesting one for me. The second one would be the power of AI with Dr. Stephen. Just exploring how AI is going to shape our world. And to re-quote him when he mentioned, we're exploring how AI is going to change the industry and tech, your interactions, how machines are going to be acting humanly, thinking rationally, and shaping our world. I think that makes you look forward and wonder, what's going to happen, So those are some ones for me.
Nah, that is awesome. I think the one with Londi also, for me, I had to learn a few things, understand that as much as you're pushing, mental health is important to the quality, I said quality, to the quality you're putting out there. And I think another one that stood out for me was a very technical one there with Jonathan. I think we went in depth with that one. So I think some of the hardcore coders were excited. From your side, how did you find the more in-depth technical ones?
So I also got to see things from a developer's perspective in terms of the coding, because as a quality analyst, you sort of just look for the quality of it. You don't really get to hear what the developer has to say. So that was really technical for me. There were some moments where I wondered, what does that do and what does he mean by that? But I loved that insight that he gave, not just for myself as a quality analyst, but also for these tech enthusiasts that's coming into the industry, to get that technical insight. I think that was really valuable.
No, that is awesome. My mom actually enjoyed, interestingly enough, the zero trust architecture one. So I think a lot of the time I'll be telling her, don't click this link, don't do that, trying to make her understand the risks along with that. I think that episode was so amazing for her. Was it related to real life and safety?
No, definitely. For me, I actually share your sentiments when you say that, because our parents are old school, and I remember my parents had this experience once where they were shared this link to apply for this, it was a job application, and they shared it with me, and I was like, no, listen, don't click this. It's not a real job,
Yes.
So that was a good one. That was something that we were able to now understand. It's not just about, there's so much at the back end of this whole thing, So that was a really great one. That was very insightful as well.
So you were episode 1, and there's been a lot of other episodes. Can go on YouTube, check them out. There are numbers there, number of views. How did you feel? Were you comparing yourself to other episodes?
Of course I was. Of course I was. So I think it was Jonathan that went after me. And obviously mine was the season opener. Everybody, like I said, wanted to know, what is coding culture? Watching this podcast, what can we gain from it? The technical depth of the real life stories that we've spoken about. And then I had Jonathan just message me and say to me, 60,000 views. And I was like, oh man. So yeah, of course I did a comparison. I did.
Now, gamification is in everything. It's in everything.
Of course, as well. It relates to what everyone's enthusiastic about now.
In terms of one moment where you felt like, I do not understand this at all. Is there anything for you that was like that? Any
moment that I didn't understand what they were saying?
What you were like, I don't know.
I think it was the moment with the repatriation. That for me was I was interested in it, But I was like, what is this? So that was the moment for me where I just didn't, Yeah.
No, that's very interesting. So what I like how the themes were actually fitting together across the whole thing. Like with repatriation, we touched cloud, we touched QA. With gamification, we touched dev. I think everything fit together so well. I still can't believe we've done that many, but it has been amazing. And what is the standout moment for you across all of these?
The standout moment for me was the episode on how to grow your startup without breaking it. So for two reasons, I would say. It's not very often that I could just walk to Michael's office and ask him a question like, how did you grow your startup, So to just sit with him and listen to him speak and give his insights on how he felt and, what he thinks about how you should define your startup and how you should take it forward was a good one. But I also liked when Pilani spoke about how we just want to create perfection with our products. I could relate to that.
Of course you could.
Because it's not just so much about that. It's not just so much fast to market. It's more about looking at what really matters, the product.
Yes.
Taking the feedback and iterating that feedback. So that was something that stood out for me.
That was amazing. Moving from software to quality to actually having the product and trying to grow your business based on this, because it is actually about the product.
Yeah, because whenever you're learning new tools or you're learning new frameworks or technologies, and you may have a career, but you want to have something that you want to maybe grow on the side. Giving those insights and just giving those real life scenarios, I think it helps tech enthusiasts to think, okay, you know what, this is how I want to grow my startup. These are the mistakes that I don't want to make.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
No, that was an amazing one there for me. In terms of season 2, if we wanted to look forward, what are you looking forward to?
So for the Coding Culture podcast, I think for season 2, I'm looking forward to 1 million subscribers on the channel. I'm fixating it here and I'm saying it. But in all seriousness, I think that the coding culture has built a solid foundation. It's not just given us technical depth, but it's given us real stories. I think everyone who joined in the podcast and everyone who wanted to know what was coding culture, it wasn't just about a tech conversation. It was about the reality of tech, Tech is not just anymore about people. It's not just about code anymore. It's about people. It's about processes. It's about purpose. And I think coding culture has defined that.
No, I'm really happy about how everything has gone. I think one of the biggest things is always try to be an inspiration for people to learn and gain something and benefit. And I think that's one of your focuses as well.
Yes, definitely. As a person, that's what we all want. But when I get to speak to people who just join or come out of university and they ask me, Karmen, what's your advice for us? What do you? And I always say to them, the first thing for me is that stay open to learning.
Yeah.
Stay open to growing. Don't just want to do something. Ask, why should I do this? You're learning this new technology. Why should I learn it? How is it going to make a difference in the dev space or in the coding space or in the technical space or cybersecurity? And another one, and I stand very strong on this one, is collaboration.
Yeah.
Building reputation, going for learnerships, going to events that allows you to connect with people that are already in the industry, like leaders who are able to share their insights. So that's something that I feel that was really good as well. It gave the young generation to believe, hey, there's leaders out there. Yeah.
Then just like that, it's a wrap. It's the season finale of the Coding Culture podcast. The podcast all about technology, innovation, and all the cutting-edge practices that shape our digital landscape. It has been amazing. Remember to like the content, keep having the conversation in the comments, and stay curious and keep building things that matter. Kgang, and I'm out.